Portfolio websites are crucial to showcase your work, skills, and personality. Think of it as a dynamic resume. With just a few minutes and zero hassle, you can vibe code a sleek portfolio website that represents you. Using VS Code extensions, GitHub Copilot, and LearnCloud, Ms. Paws will demonstrate how you can create a free website accessible to anyone around the world. The first thing we're going to do is download VS Code if you already don't have it. This is the code editor that we will be using. Once we open VS Code, we're going to install a couple of extensions. The first is GitHub Copilot, which I already have installed. You will need a GitHub account to use it, so check out my video on creating a GitHub account if you don't already have one. Then I'm going to press the icon on top to open the Copilot chat. I asked Copilot to create an About Me website. What's cool is that it creates all the necessary files for me. I tell it where I want to create the new folder, and then I click Open to open up the created workspace. We can take a look at the different files. And I asked Copilot, how can I view this website? Notice that it's additionally using package.json to formulate an answer since that's the file I'm on. I can always disable it if I don't think the file is relevant to my question. I open up the terminal on my computer. You can also do this on VS Code. By the way, if you're not sure how, you can ask Copilot. I type in the commands it asks me. Unfortunately, I start getting some error messages. So I paste in the error message in the chat. I don't even have to ask a question. And so it gives me some suggestions, and I realize, oops, I was in the wrong directory. Now, I know how to switch directories, but again, if you don't, you can ask Copilot. So I switch directories and run the commands again. The node modules are created, and then my website opens up. Cool! But now we need to customize it. We want to keep vibe coding and not apply our noggins too much today, so I'm going to switch to index.html because as you see, that's where my personal info needs to be filled out. And I asked Copilot to fill in my personal details for me and also make my website pink. I've heard the Claude 3.7 Sonnet model is really good for coding, so I switched the AI model to that. Not only it gives me the updated index.html with the details that I wanted and also eliminating the phone number since I said I didn't have one, it also gave me what the CSS file should look like since I said I wanted a pink website. For fun, it also gives me some JavaScript to make my website more interactive. Awesome! So I'm going to copy and paste the code Copilot gave me into each of the files. I do what it tells me to do, run npm start. Obviously, with my prior coding knowledge, I know that won't work because my development server is running. So I press Ctrl+C to stop it. Of course, we could have asked Copilot if we didn't know. Then I type npm start to check out the new website. It's pink and it has all my info. And when I click on the About Ms. Paws part of the website, I get an alert. The website is interactive. I'm happy with it. And this is super nice. But now I want the world to see my website. We're going to install another extension to help us out. This is not an AI extension, but a super neat extension that teaches us how to deploy our web app to the cloud so it's accessible to everyone. If you're not familiar with the cloud, I would definitely recommend you to watch the video in the extension. We're going on to the next step, however. It asks us if we have an Azure account. I already have one, so I'm going to say yes. But if you don't, you can create one and get $200 worth of free credit. It then teaches us about the terms we need to know. It talks about the different platforms available on Microsoft Azure and other useful services on Azure. We want to deploy the portfolio website to Azure so anyone can access it. So I click my code and then I upload my code to GitHub. Once I do that, it tells me to head on to static web apps on the portal. I do that, create a new resource group, title the web app, mark it as a free app. Then I make sure the deployment type is GitHub and connect to my GitHub repo, following along with the instructions on LearnCloud. Once my deployment is complete, I click on the URL. It says my site will be ready soon, so I get back to LearnCloud and learn more about other VS Code extensions related to Azure deployment. I also take a look at the Microsoft documentation that's linked. I could refer to these extensions and documents in the future when I build more complex projects. I return to my website and refresh it. And lo and behold, my website is ready and I can share the link with others. Since this was just a demo app, I do want to delete it. Following the Learn Cloud instructions, I go to the resource group and delete it so my resources are deleted. And that's it! We did it! In my next video, I'll sit down with the creators of the Learn Cloud VS Code extension who will share more about their journey in creating the extension. So stay tuned!